AEW President and CEO Tony Khan provides updates on the AEW status of Kenny Omega, Absolute Ricky Starks, and Adam Copeland. Speaking of Starks, he was backstage at Full Gear this past weekend amid his absence. The full lineup and tournament rules, as well as the leagues for the Continental Classic, have been revealed. Kevin Owens, was there a special Easter egg this past Friday night on SmackDown signifying a major title change at the upcoming Saturday night's main event? Stephanie McMahon's status with WWE has been revealed. Jade Cargill's legitimate injury has also been revealed after she was written off television Friday night on SmackDown. The Costco guy's status with AEW has also been revealed after Big Boom AJ won his AEW in-ring debut at Full Gear. Speaking of which, the chaotic ending to the pay-per-view this weekend, the details behind that have also been revealed. Mercedes Moné and Chris Statlander received praise after their TBS title match at Full Gear. Plus, WWE Talent are reportedly frustrated with a brand new comp ticket policy. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with the AEW statuses of Kenny Omega, Adam Copeland, and Absolute Ricky Starks from the AEW President and CEO himself, Tony Khan. Now, the last 2 months have marked several returns for All Elite Wrestling, including MJF, Adam Cole, Powerhouse Hobbs, and the newly crowned TNT champion Daniel Garcia. Still, several talents also remain absent from AEW television. At the Full Gear post-show press conference, AEW President Tony Khan addressed the statuses of 3 of these absentees, namely Ricky Starks, Adam Copeland, and former AEW World Champion Kenny Omega. Regarding Starks and Omega, Khan suggested that fans will have to stay tuned for their respective returns. Starks, who is still signed and healthy, has not appeared on AEW programming since the March 30th episode of AEW Collision. We'll talk about him being backstage in just a second. Omega, on the other hand, was indefinitely shelved from action after being diagnosed with diverticulitis in late 2023. Omega has since bounced back from it and is now slated to face Gabe Kidd in his return match at the Wrestle Dynasty pay-per-view in January of 2025. Of course, that being a pay-per-view co-promoted by AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Meanwhile, Starks has resurfaced on the independent wrestling circuit with matches at Glory Pro and GCW set for the imminent future. Quote, "Not to give things away, but I'm very excited about having our stars participate in other promotions," Tony Khan said. You mentioned Wrestle Dynasty. Kenny Omega will be competing for Wrestle Dynasty, which is actually a collaboration. It's New Japan Pro Wrestling, but it's working with Ring of Honor, Stardom, and AEW. Kenny Omega and Ricky Starks have both been great champions here in AEW. Kenny Omega from day one. We're just talking about Jon Moxley, the important figures, the great world champions in AEW. We couldn't be here and wouldn't be here without Kenny Omega. That's definitely something to keep an eye on for the future when some more of these great stars will be back in All Elite Wrestling. Now, as far as Adam Copeland regarding the status of the former WWE champion Edge, Khan noted that he and the AEW team deeply missed having him on the road. Copeland last wrestled at AEW Double or Nothing, where he successfully retained the TNT Championship in a barbed wire steel cage match against Malachi Black. Unfortunately, Copeland's victory came with a major downside as he fractured his tibia in the middle of the battle and later had to relinquish the title. Quote, "Copeland was doing so great this year for us as the TNT champion," Khan said. "We really missed the Rated R superstar very much. I can't wait to hopefully at some point in the near future get him back. It was really a devastating thing. We're very blessed to have such a great roster in AEW because everybody really stepped up. When you lose somebody so valuable to the team like Adam Copeland, it's always going to hurt. As soon as we could get him back, it's going to make a huge positive difference to have Adam Copeland back on this team." Now, in announcing his injury, Copeland confirmed that he'd be required to undergo surgery, though the time frame of his subsequent recovery was unknown. Amidst his absence, Copeland has continued to work out while also teasing the possibility of opening a wrestling school alongside his wife, WWE Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix. Looking ahead to his future, Copeland has also contemplated possibly reinventing himself upon his eventual return. Now, we spoke about Ricky Starks there. We can confirm indeed that he was backstage at Full Gear. Of course, Ricky Starks made a surprise appearance at GCW's Dream On event over the weekend, which emanated from the American Dream Mall in East Rutherford, New Jersey. There, Starks declared that he was no longer going to sit at home and be frozen out. Instead, he plans to get his career back on track, beginning with an emergence at a promotion he considers to be one of the hottest, that being GCW. Now, following his venture to GCW, Starks made his way to the Prudential Center in Newark, the site of the Full Gear pay-per-view. Starks Stark's Full Gear attendance was confirmed on Instagram when Danny Cage, the owner of the Monster Factory, posted an image of the former AEW World Tag Team Champion standing beside him while backstage at the pay-per-view event. Now, it's not been confirmed who he spoke to, what was discussed, or anything like that, but it has been confirmed indeed Starks was in attendance. Now, the Continental Classic is back, and we have the lineups, the leagues for the tournament confirmed. Now, the tournament kicks off on Wednesday, November 27, this week in Chicago, and culminates at the World's End pay-per-view on Saturday, December 28. Of course, last year's winner was Eddie Kingston, although he went on to lose the Continental Championship a few months later to Kazuchika Okada, who now enters this year's tournament as the defending champion. As was the case last year, they have the tournament rules. We have a 20-minute time limit, 3 points for a victory, 1 point for a draw, and everyone is banned from ringside. These are the same rules that actually take place in the Continental Championship matches. Now, as with last year, there's a blue league and a gold league, each made up of 6 participants who will have one match against each other in the league phase. After all 6 people in each league have faced each other, the top 2 in the rankings based on the points they've earned will have a semi-final match to decide who advances to the overall final. Now, the lineups indeed have now been confirmed, beginning with the blue league and the AEW Continental Champion Kazuchika Okada, who will be competing in the tournament for the first time. In addition to him, Kyle Fletcher, coming off his big victory against Will Ospreay at Full Gear, will also be in the blue league. Joining them will be the brand new TNT champion Daniel Garcia, fresh off winning the title from Jack Perry this past weekend. He announced his intention to compete in the Continental Classic in the post-show press conference, and he will also, as I mentioned, be in the blue league. The Beast Mortos also will be competing in the tournament for the first time. Mark Briscoe will be returning to the Continental Classic after he participated in the tournament last year. And finally, recent AEW signing Shelton Benjamin will also be competing in this year's tournament, competing in the Blue League. As you can see right there, that is the confirmation of the Blue League. Okada, Fletcher, Garcia, Briscoe, Benjamin, and the Beast Mortos. Now let's move on to the Gold League, beginning with Will Ospreay competing in the Continental Classic for the first time. Of course, no stranger to round-robin tournaments from his time in New Japan Pro Wrestling and the G1 Climax. In addition to Ospreay, the Gold League will have Juice Robinson also competing, another former New Japan Pro Wrestling star. We'll also have Brody King. He competed last year in the Continental Classic. He'll be competing once more, this time in the Gold League, representing the House of Black. Ricochet, of course, signed with AEW this year. He'll be competing in the Gold League as well, setting up another match against Will Ospreay in the future. The Gold League will also have 1/3 of the AEW World Trios champion Claudio Castagnoli competing in the tournament. And rounding it out will also be former AEW Tag Team and TNT champion Darby Allin. So confirmation there of the Gold League, involving Darby Allin, Claudio Castagnoli, Will Ospreay, Ricochet, Brody King, and Juice Robinson. Now, going over to WWE and SmackDown, did Kevin Owens drop a bit of an Easter egg as to what could happen at Saturday night's main event? Now, echoes of a past title feud leads to the suggestion Kevin Owens might dethrone Cody Rhodes as the undisputed WWE champion at Saturday night's main event. The former friends have been feuding on Friday night since Owens jumped Rhodes after WWE Bad Blood in September, renewing hostility specifically after Crown Jewel. Of course, at the event, Rhodes won the inaugural Crown Jewel Championship, while Owens' focus was on Randy Orton. During Friday's SmackDown, after weeks of Owens being kept away from the building, Owens had a chance to get on a live microphone and have a back and forth with his rival. He noted that he even dressed up for the occasion, sporting a tuxedo-printed t-shirt, harkening back to a similar title feud from Ring of Honor in 2012. As documented by people on social media, that was also the t-shirt worn by Owens for the match for much of his build to the Ring of Honor World Championship match against Davey Richards at Border Wars 2012, one he would go on to win before retaining the title a month later in the rematch. However, the two title feuds can be paralleled in their concept as well. Owens' feud with Richards saw him become wrestling's worst nightmare against the company's chosen guy, echoing the sentiments put across in the Owens and Rhodes promo on Friday night. Their rematch is yet to be made official, but is reportedly penciled in for Saturday night's main event on December 14th, and will be a rematch of Owens' former unsuccessful attempt to win the title at Bash in Berlin earlier this year. Now, Stephanie McMahon, only people wondering what is her status, if there's any, with WWE right now. Now, while she hasn't appeared at some WWE events over the past few months, it doesn't look like Stephanie McMahon is returning to the promotion in an official capacity. According to PW Insider, the former co-CEO doesn't have a role at the time of this recording, but she has been spotted at WWE's office lately, suggesting that something could be cooking behind the scenes. It remains to be seen if McMahon will return to the WWE fold after resigning from her co-CEO position in 2023. Her departure coincided with her father, Vince McMahon, coming out of retirement following his first hush money scandal. With Vince officially gone following the Janelle Grant lawsuit and his ongoing legal dramas, McMahon's husband, Paul Triple H Levesque, has more power now than ever. However, this seemingly hasn't resulted in McMahon being given another executive role, though the door does seem open. Levesque previously commented on McMahon's future in WWE, revealing that her love and passion for the industry has been rekindled and she's been by his side while he's been working on creative ideas. As such, he won't rule out seeing her back in the groove at some point, but that it's her decision to make. WWE President Nick Khan also hopes to see McMahon return, noting that both he and the company's fan base would embrace it. Now, McMahon was present at this year's WWE WrestleMania and SummerSlam Premium Live events, and it reportedly isn't uncommon to see her backstage. Several talents, including Kathy Kelly, have also called for the company to coax her out of retirement. Now, Jade Cargill, she was written off WWE television this past Friday night on SmackDown, and now we know why. WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Jade Cargill has been pulled from the upcoming Women's War Games match at Survivor Series, as well as the tournament to crown the inaugural WWE United States Women's Champion. In the former, she was replaced by Bayley, in the latter, Lash Legend. According to Fightful Select, Cargill is dealing with a legitimate injury, and the recent angle which saw her thrown off a platform and through a car windshield was written to give Cargill time away from WWE programming to recover. There is no word on the nature or severity of the injury, and Cargill's timetable for a return is unknown as of now. Cargill is currently in her second reign with the Women's Tag Team Championship alongside Bianca Belair. The women regained their titles from the Unholy Unions Alba Fire and Isla Dawn at the Bash in Berlin event at the end of August. Now, the Costco guys in All Elite Wrestling. Could we see more of them? Well, Big Boom AJ made quite an impression in his AEW in-ring debut, so much so that many fans are already yearning to see him return to an AEW ring again soon. Following his victory over QT Marshall on the AEW Full Gear 0 Hour pre-show, the TikTok sensation addressed his potential future in All Elite Wrestling. He said, quote, "I love it here. I loved every minute of this. If I'm welcome back, I'm going to be back and I'm going to bring the boom," AJ said on the Full Gear post-show media scrum, to which AEW President Tony Khan confirmed that AJ is more than welcome to return. While AJ is optimistic about bringing the boom back to AEW, he admittedly isn't too sure about a chase after the AEW World Championship, which is currently held by the Death Riders leader Jon Moxley. Quotes, "I think I'm having a lot of fun where I am right now. I think I'm really loving everything that Big Justice and I have an opportunity to do," AJ said. "We've had an opportunity to meet Mr. Beast. We've had an opportunity to meet some of the biggest creators in the world, work with Costco, work with some of the greatest brands in the world, stay in contact with our audience. So there's a lot we're doing right now. I don't think a championship run is in my future." Now, according to AJ, a championship run comes with elevated responsibilities that he isn't sure he could keep up while also juggling his social media and brand work. As such, AJ more so sees himself wrestling for AEW at various points throughout the year. Long before, of course, he rose to fame on social media, AJ spent the early 2000s on the independent wrestling scene with notable appearances in the United Wrestling Coalition and Phoenix Championship Wrestling. Now, Full Gear saw a bit of a crazy ending, didn't it, at the weekend? And now we know why, or certainly the reason behind that creative finish. Now, Full Gear, the event closed with AEW World Champion Jon Moxley defending his championship against Orange Cassidy before chaos ensued after the match. As Moxley was celebrating, Hangman Adam Page came to the ring with a chair, confronting Moxley before Christian Cage came to the ring and laid out the AEW World Champion. As Christian went to cash in his contract, Jay White came to the ring, hitting the Blade Runner on Christian, preventing him from cashing in on Moxley. As Moxley and the Death Riders fled the arena, their car was run over by Darby Allin, who crashed his truck into the Death Riders before he would end up attacking the band with his skateboard to end the show. The angle got a lot of people talking as the show went off the air, and the reason behind the chaotic finish to the show has now been revealed. Per PW Insider, the angles at the end of the show were designed to showcase how many challengers are chasing the AEW World Championship in the coming months. And Mercedes Moné is still the AEW TBS champion, but got a lot of praise for her match this past weekend. One of the top matches at Full Gear was the TBS title match with Mercedes Moné defending the title against Chris Statlander. The match saw Mercedes come out on top in an almost 20-minute affair, which was the longest match in AEW Women's Division history. The match received a lot of praise from both fans in the building and online, and that praise extends to those backstage in the company. Per PW Insider, there was a lot of praise backstage for how well Moné and Statlander clicked in the ring during the show. Mercedes entered the match at Full Gear alone, with her talent Camille to stay in the back following a series of screw-ups on Dynamite. Mercedes is set to defend her New Japan Strong Women's Championship against Hazuki at New Japan Strong Style Evolved on December 15. And finally, a little bit of frustration among WWE talents right now, but I guess it's success coming with some issues. Of course, WWE has been a hot ticket and a very expensive one as ticket prices have reached an all-time high. For the last number of years, internal comp tickets have been limited, which Fightful Select have told hit a new high in recent weeks. Numerous WWE talents have expressed frustration that comps are no longer available in many cases, and instead talent are getting a pre-sale link that their friends and family can utilize and get tickets before general on sale. Now, Fightful say they aren't sure if this applies to talent across the board, but a number of talent have indicated that it affects them. One WWE higher-up that Fightful spoke to claimed it was a product of WWE's success and had confirmed that the company had even used less seat fillers than previous years because the company is a hot ticket. When asking for comps, talent send in a request, and if granted, talent are informed and a notification was sent via email to whoever got the tickets. One talent Fightful spoke to who took issue with the change said there was no written information or update provided to talent on the change and that they were told by talent relations. Now, one talent also said they had comp tickets approved months before and the week of the show were asked to provide a credit card to actually pay for the tickets. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.